Last week, for those of you who are online and missed us, if you look around, you will see a new setting. The walls are brighter, the lights are brighter. We've got the altar well lit. Everything looks perfect. We like to keep it this way. Instead of hanging all those streamers and so that we used to have a distraction, we don't want them anymore. To do that, you got to stick nails in the wall. And those nails are hard to repair and to fix up again. That's why people complain about the ceiling being this way and the ceiling being that way, because they flake. So let's stay with what we got. Simple, but we're here for a purpose. The purpose is to keep our minds on what we're doing, not for the distractions, which are all over the place. And I don't know why people do this when they have puja, they do this decoration, that decoration, balloons here, balloons there, blowing in the wind. The kids are going and playing with them. They make it worse because it's a distraction. We're here to worship. We're here to offer puja to Bhagwan so that we can enrich ourselves both internally and externally. Let's please stand for open prayer. Welcome once again to all who are online as well as who are with us today. Om Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsachanurmardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadguru Om Adakshe Varde Devi Akshare Brahmavadini Gayatri Jagat Mata Vishwayoni Namastute Om Bhurbhuvat Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat Om Bhurbhuvat Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat Om Bhurbhuvat Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat Om Triambakam Yajamare Sugandhim Pushpivardhanam Urvarukmiva Bandhanan Mrityormukshyamamritat Om Prithvi Tvaya Dhrita Loka Devi Tvam Vishnuna Dhrita Tvam Chadharyamam Devi Pavitram Kuru Chasanam Om Shri Prithvi Mata Yo Namah Namami. Listen. Om Apavitra Pavitrava Sarvashtangatopiva Yashmare Pundarikaksham Sabhaya Bhayantara Suchi Om Hasprakshalanam Samarpyami Govindaya Namah Om Amritopaskarnamasi Swaha Om Amrita Pidanvasi Swaha Om Satyam Yasha Shrirmai Shri Shrayatam Swaha Hasprakshalanam Samarpyami Govindaya Namah Kushmule Sito Brahma Kushmadye Janardana Kusagre Sankram Devam Kushnaram Karumayam Om Yena Badhu Bali Raja Darendro Mahabala Ekvam Pativarnami Rakshamachalam. Join us now in the Elms first, the purificatory rites. Touch first the lips. Om Vandamasya Nose. Om Nasurme Pranostu eyes. Om Akshanurme Chakshurastu ears. Om Karanyorme Shrotramastu arms. Om Bahurme Balmastu thighs. Om Urvume Ujvastu alva. Om Arishtani Me Andani. Tanustanvami Saha Santu. right? We join our benediction mantras now, the Swasti Vachan. Om Hari Om Swaste na Indro Vidasrava Swasti na Pusha Vishvaveda Swasti na Starchyo Rishtanemi Swasti no Brihaspati Dadhatu Om Paya Prithvyam Paya Ushadhishu Payu Divyantarikshe Payudha Payaswati Pradesha Santomyam Om Vishnu Raratmasi Vishnu Shnaprishtu Vishnu Surasi Vishnu Dhruvasi Vishnamasi Vishnavetava Om Agnir Devata Vatu Devata Suryu Devata Chandrama Devata Vasu Devata Rudra Devata Aditya Devata Marutu Devata Vishwadeva Devata Brihaspati Devata Indru Devata Varno Devata Om Dhyau Shantir Antariksha Gom Shanti Prithvi Shantir Apa Shantir Aushadhaya Shantir Vanaspatya Shantir Vishwadeva Shantir Brahma Shantir Sarvagam Shantir Shantireva Shantir Sama Shantiredhi Om Vishwani Deva Savitar Duritani Parasva Yadbhadram Tana Asva Om Shuklam Vardanam Deva Shashi Varanam Chaturbhujam Prasanna Varanam Jai Sarva Vignopashante Om Shanti 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 Kara Bhavantu Prem Sri Krishna Chandra Bhagwan Ki Jai Sharanam Prabhu. We'll consecrate our Vedi. Om Bhurasi Bhumirasi Ditirasi Visvanaya Visvasya Bhuvanasya Dhatri Prithvi Acha Prithvi Trigomha Prithvi Mahi Gom Sih Prem Sri Prithvi Mata Ki Jai Sharanam Prabhu. With flowers and Nihana, we meditate on Bhagavan in the form of Ganesha. Ganesha who is Vigneshwar, remover of obstacles, giver of success, storehouse of wisdom. We ask of Bhagavan, may you inspire us from within, that we recognize our challenges, bless us with ability not only to recognize but to overcome as well, using our knowledge, our wisdom. Om Gajananam Bhutaganaadi Sevitam Kapita Jambo Phalachara Bhakshanam Umasatam Shoka Vinashakarakam Namami Vigneshwara Pada Pankajam Om Hiram Mahesha Putra Samasta Vignoga Vinashi Daksha Mangalya Puja Pratamam Pradhanam Grahana Pujam Bhagavan Namaste Om Sarva Mangala Mangalye Shive Sarvartha Sadhike Sharanye Trayambake Gauri Narayani Namastute Sri Ganeshaya Namaha Namami Sri Gauri Mata Bhyo Namaha Namami
Jai Ganesh
Ramyam Sushobhanana Sarva Saukya Karam Shubham
Jai Ganesh Gananath Dayani Sakala Vigan Kar Dur Hamare Jai Ganesh Gananath Dayani Jai Ganesh Gananath Dayani Sakala Vigan Kar Dur Hamare Jai Ganesh Sakala Vigan Kar Dur Hamare तुम्हारो प्रथम धरे जो ध्यान तुम्हारो इसके पूरन कार्य सारे जय गणेश गणनाथ दयानिधि जय गणेश गणनाथ दयानिधि लंबोदर गज बदन मनोहर लंबोदर गज बदन मनोहर कर त्रिशू पर सुवरधारी जय गणेश गणनाथ दयानिधि सकल विघ्न कर दूर हमारे जय गणेश गणनाथ दयानिधि रिद्धि सिद्धि दो छवर तुलाए रिद्धि सिद्धि दो छवर तुलाए मूषक वाहन परम सुखारे जय गणेश गणनाथ दयानिधि सकल विघ्न कर दूर हमारे जय गणेश गणनाथ दयानिधि ब्रह्मानंद सहक करो नित ब्रह्मानंद सहायक करो नित भक्त जनों के तुम रखवारे जय गणेश गणनाथ दयानिधि सकल विघ्न कर दूर हमारे जय गणेश गणनाथ दयानिधि ब्रह्मादिक सुर ध्यावत मन में ब्रह्मादिक सुर ध्यावत मन में ऋषि मुनि गण सब दास तुम्हारे जय गणेश गणनाथ दयानिधि सकल विघ्न कर दूर हमारे जय गणेश गणनाथ दयानिधि सकल विघ्न कर दूर हमारे जय गणेश गणनाथ दयानिधि जय गणेश गणनाथ दयानिधि.
The class hands now, we glorify Bhagavan as Ganesha. Om Jai Ganapati Sadguna Sadan Kavivar Badana Kripa Vignaharan Mangalkaran Jai Jai Girja Om Agacha Ganesh Gauri Devi Swastana Parameshwari Am Puja Karishyami त्वं सदा सम्मुखो भव प्रेम श्री गौरी गणेश भगवान की जय शरणं प्रभु. Once again, with flowers in our hands, we meditate and offer puja to Bhagavan in the form of Mahalakshmi. Lakshmi, the dispenser of prosperity, of wealth, of health, of beauty, of fortune. Most importantly, in Hindu philosophy, light is a symbol of wisdom, as opposed to darkness. It symbolizes ignorance. Today we are asking, O Devi, in a like manner that the light dispels the darkness of night, so may the darkness of our ignorance be replaced by the light of spiritual wisdom. To this Mahalakshmi we join in humble salutations. Om Namostute Mahaya Sri Pite Surapujate Shankha Chakra Gadahaste Mahalakshmi Namostute. Om Siddhi Buddhi Prade Mukti Mukti Pradayani Mantra Murti Sada Devi Mahalakshmi Namostute. Om Lakshmi Karotu Kalyanam Arogyam Sukha Sampada Manishatru Vinashaya Om Sri Mahalakshmi Mata Dev Namah Namami Vahayami Stapyami Pujyami Karishyami. Ramyam Sushobhanam Divyam
माँ तेरी ममता कितनी प्यारी, कितना प्यार जगाती है, श्वास श्वास की रक्षा करती, रग पे प्राण बचाती है। माँ तेरी ममता कितनी
Class bars, you want to write someone? Om Matu Lakshmi Kari Kripa Hriday Nivas Manokana Siddhikari Trai trai dukhharni haro begi sab tras Jaiti jaiti jayakshmi karishat punthanash Mahalakshmi namastubhyam Sureshwari Hari Priye Namastubhyam Dayani Om Ya Devi Sarvabhuteshu Lakshmi Rupena Samstita Namastasya Namo Namah Namastasya Namo Namah Prem Tulsi Mahalakshmi Mata Vijay Sharanam Prabhu. That was a record-breaking prasad making year. With class bars now we offer salutations to Bhagavan in the form of Navgraha. Navgraha symbolizing the planets in the solar system, the energy from these planets, of course, based upon the place and time of our birth, as well as our own action or karma, which can be both positive or negative. Based upon these, the energy from these planets can affect us positively and negatively as well. Whatever negativity there may be, today we are asking Bhagavan to be our guide us on a path that allows us to recognize our challenges, on a path that are planetary based, our path that will lead to success and good health in all aspects of our lives. And those of us, our family members and members of the temple who may be suffering in some way or the other from these negative effects, especially today we pray for these individuals, Srimati Janki Samaru, Srimati Anjani Rampal, Srimati Harde Ramprasad, Srimati Mary Manbahal, Srimati Sita Sinath, all women. What have men on your tail? All right, men die when they get ill, I guess, and women drag on a long time. That's good. Think about how many widows there are. But it's okay. Everybody has their own time. Maybe we'll come back as women someday and live long. Who knows? Hey, that's just a joke, okay? Listen, if you don't make life easy, it gets hard. If you make it get hard, it gets harder. So take your pick. So we pray for peace in the heavenly regions, peace in the atmosphere, peace upon the earth as it affects our own lives directly. Om Brahma Murari Sripurantakari Manu Shashi Bhumi Suto Buddhascha गुरुश्च शुक्र शनिराहु केतु सर्वे ग्रह शांतिकरा भवन्तु सर्वे ग्रह शांतिकरा भवन्तु प्रेम से श्री देवता की जय शरणम प्रभु. We meditate now Mahavishnu, Vishnu symbolizing the all-pervasive Bhagavan who becomes manifest from time to time and age to age for the benefit of humankind by whose grace and blessings the dumb speaks, the lame walks, the blind sees, the impossible becomes possible. We are asking, O Bhagavan, in the same way become manifest in the world, may become manifested in my heart. Be the guide of my intellect, guiding me on the path of truth, of dharma, of righteousness, of religion, the path which leads to welfare here and the hereafter too. This Mahavishnu, we join in our humble celebrations. Om Sashankachakram Sakirita Kundalam Sapita Vastram Sarasirulekshanam Saharabhakshastulakaustubhasriyam Namami Vishnu Shirasa Chaturbhujam Om Mukam Karoti Vacham Pangum Dhayate Girim Yat Kripatam Vande Paramanandamadam Om Nilambuj Shamalapolangam Sita Samaropitvanabhagam Panam Mahasaika Charu Chapam Namami Ramam Raghuvanshanatham Om Ramaya Ramabhadraya Ramachandraya Venase Raghunathaya Nathaya Sitaya Pataya Namaha Om Neelavarnam Pitavastram Srivatsapadbhushitam Govindam Gokulanandam Brahmagyerapi Pujitam Brahmagyerapi Pujitam Sri Mahavishnu Bhagavanabhyo Namaha Namami.
Mana
पावन सीताराम मोह माया के बंधन टूटे जो भी जपे मन से तेरा नाम तेरी शरण में जो भी रोम रोम में बस जाए उसके नाम तेरा तेरा सबको सम्मति दे भगवान सबको सम्मति दे
God sets you in the mood. Did you hear a sound on that there? I don't have any of those. Alright. प्रेम से महाविष्णु भगवान की जय शाम प्रभु. We'll meditate now on Bhagavan Shiva Shambhu, Shiva symbolizing the reabsorbing aspect of the divinity. Atman becomes merged into Paramatman. When self-realization is achieved, moksha, he is called Vardata, giver of boons. By repeating the Panchakshar mantra Om Namah Shivaya with love, with devotion, in the puja of Bhagavan Shiva, the simple tendencies inherent in us, brought on by our anger, greed, jealousy, covetousness, hatred, pride, envy, all products of the ego, these become burnt in the fires of our devotion. In this manner, we attain purity of thoughts, of words, of deeds, of mind, of intellect, of actions, which are prerequisites for self-realization. By offering puja to Bhagavan Shiva with love and with devotion, I invite all to sit up right now, to cast away the worldly cares. We all have them. Let's put these at the back of the minds for a little while. Meditate on the most pleasing aspect of Bhagavan. Bhagavan is beyond names and beyond forms. The names and the forms are tools that we use to help us to keep the mind and thoughts under control. Let's use those tools today. Meditate on the most pleasing aspect of Bhagavan. Ask Him to make His home in our hearts, to be the guide of the intellect, guiding us on the path that leads to the highest welfare, the welfare of happiness. For that, Shiva, we join in humble salutations. Om Pashunam Pratim Papa Nasham Paresham Gajendrasya Kritim Vasanam Varenyam Jatajuta Madhye Smuradganyarim Mahadeva Vekam Smarami Smararim Om Mahesham Suresham Suraratinasham Vibhum Vishwanatham Vibhutyanga Bhusham Virupaksham Andhare Kavani Trinetram Sadananda Mire Prabhu Panchavakram ॐ गिरीशं गणेशं गणे नीलवर्णं गजेन्द्राधिरूढं गुणातीतरूपं भवं भास्वरं भस्मनात् भूषिताङ्गं भवानी कलत्रं भजे पञ्चवक्त्रम् ॐ शिवाकान्त शम्भो शशङ्कर नमोरे महेशानशून्यं जटाजुतधारिं त्वमेको जगद्व्यापको विश्वरूपा प्रसीदं प्रभो पूर्णरूपम् ॐ नमस्ते नमस्ते विभो विश्वमूर्ते नमस्ते नमस्ते चिदानन्दमूर्ते नमस्ते नमस्ते तपयोगगम्य नमस्ते नमस्ते श्रुतिज्ञानगम्य ॐ प्रभु शूलपाणे विभो विश्वनाथ महादेव शंभो महेश त्रिनेत्र शिवकांत शांत स्मराणे पुराणे वरण्यो वरेण्यो नामान्यो न गम्य वरण्यो वरेण्यो नामान्यो न गम्य ॐ श्री शिवशंकर भगवानभ्यो नमः नमामि ॐ रम्यं सुशोभनं दिव्यं सर्वसौख्याकरं शुभम् आसनं च मया रक्तं गृहाण शिवशङ्करम् ॐ नमोऽस्तु नीलग्रीवाय सहस्राक्षाय विदुषे अथ मे अस्य सत्त्वानो अन्तेभ्यो अकरं नमः ॐ त्र्यम्बकं यजामहे सुगन्धिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् मृत्योर्मुक्षीयमामृतात् ॐ वरुणस्योतं हन्मसि वरुणस्य स्तं सर्जनीस्तो वरुणस्य ऋत्सदन्यसि वरुणस्य ऋत्सदन्मासि वरुणस्य ऋत्सदन्मासि पाद्यमर्घ्यमाचमन्यं स्नानं श्रीशिवशङ्कर भगवान् पूजनम् ॐ नमः शिवाय ॐ नमः शिवाय नमो नमः ॐ नमः शिवाय ॐ नमः शिवाय नमो नमः ॐ गोक्षीरधामन्देशं गोक्षीरेण मया कृतं स्नापनं देव देवेश प्रहाण शिवशङ्करं क्षीरस्नानं श्री शिवशङ्कर भगवान् पूजनम् ॐ नमः शिवाय ॐ नमः शिवाय नमो नमः ॐ नमः शिवाय ॐ नमः शिवाय नमो नमः ॐ पञ्चामृतं मया नीतं वयोदधी समन्वितं घृतं मधु शर्करा च स्नानार्थं प्रतिगृह्यतां पञ्चामृत स्नानं श्री शिवशङ्कर भगवान् पूजनम् ॐ नमः शिवाय ॐ नमः शिवाय नमो नमः ॐ नमः शिवाय ॐ नमः शिवाय नमो नमः ॐ शुद्वाल सर्वशुद्वालो मणिमालस्ताश्विना शक्ता शेता चूर्णस्य रूपा पशुपति कर्मण्याम अविलिप्ता रौद्रा नमो रूपा पारजन्या गंगाजल स्नानं श्री शिवशङ्कर भगवान् पूजनम् ॐ नमः शिवाय ॐ नमः शिवाय नमो नमः ॐ नमः शिवाय ॐ नमः शिवाय नमो नमः प्रेम से शिव शंकर भगवान की जय शरणं प्रभु I gotta mention here, this is a perfect setting for my mic. Don't change it again. Stan, I know you had something to do with that. That was well set. Sounds perfect to me, and I'm hard of hearing, so, so please leave it where it is, so I can hear myself eventually. Go ahead, Bhajan.
I might put song and then change.
प्रेम से तू गाल रसना नाम शिव जी का वो ही दाता है विदाता सारी जगती का सारी जगती का प्रेम से तू गाल रसना जपना नाम शिव जी का वो ही दाता है विदाता सारे जगती का सारे जगती का प्रेम से तू गाल रसना
invocation of Bhagavan Shiva.
Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. Hare Hare Bole, Namah Shivaya. Shiva.
अक्षर प्राण शरीरं ग्रहम् पूजा ते विषयोपभोग रचना निद्रा समाधिष्ठिते संचारा पदक्षिणवरि स्तोत्राणि सर्वाधिनां यद्यत् करं करोमि तदखिलं शम्भो तवाराधनम् ओंकार चरणकृतं वा कायजं कर्मजं वा श्रवणनयनजं वा मानसं वाप्राधं विहितं वा सर्वमेतत्क्षमस्व जय जय करुणाब्धे श्री महादेव शंभो जय जय करुणाब्धे श्री महादेव शंभो प्रेम से बोल श्री शिव शंकर भगवान की जय शरणम प्रभु. Now before I start taking the prasadam, I want to first of all offer my thanks and congratulations to the people who spent the last week and a bit working on the inside of this temple to make it, you see how bright it is now? We've taken out the pictures on the wall because all it was blocked the reflection of the light from brightening up the place. So I know a lot of you, probably some of you like pictures, you like the thing hanging around the place, streamers all over the place. I gotta tell you people, this is not a brothel, okay? Or a brothel. It's a place of worship. It gotta be simple, as simple as possible, because we've come here for a purpose. The purpose is to keep the mind under control and instill the image of Bhagwan in the heart, so it can be the guide to the intellect, to guide us on the path that leads to the highest welfare, that of moksha, liberation, freedom. If we can achieve that, then we're doing good. And the less distraction, more distraction, the harder it is. The less distraction, the easier it becomes. So I hope you'll stick with me in this, and we'll try to eventually clean up some of this stuff on the altar and make it a little bit less crowded and more enjoyable. All right? Too much crowd is not good. Why do you think COVID came? To remind us of that fact. Too much crowd is not good. All right, we'll take prasadam at this time from those who have brought. We'll have the Shiva Abhishekam going on, and we also will have the kirtan and bhajan continue until everyone has had their chance. Okay. Thank you. Oh yes, I didn't mention the names. So let me call the names. The people who did the work in here. Astan is here, Prakash is not here, Devin is not here, Pete is here. I came in a couple times as well. Is there anybody else I missed, Pete? That's it? Okay. And we didn't really want too many people, so that's why we didn't advertise it too much, because too many cooks spoil the broth as it is, you know. So we wanted to be as simple as possible and just enough people to get the work done. And I think we've accomplished that. Are you happy with the way the place looks? Good. Thank you all very much. And we are thankful. We're thankful for Peter for cutting the grass this morning. I think it was him. I didn't see him there, but the grass is cut as well. So everything is looking good right now, and we want to keep it that way. Thank you all so much for being here too as well. Let's continue with prasadam and Abhishekam.
तेरे मन में है राम, मेरे तन में है राम, निर्णयों की नजरिया में राम है। तेरे मन में है राम, मेरे तन में है राम, निर्णयों की नजरिया में राम है। तेरे मन में है राम, मेरे तन में है राम।
Oh Lord Krishna, lead us out of darkness. Oh Prabhuji, bless us with happiness. Oh Lord Krishna, lead us out of darkness. Oh Prabhuji, bless us with happiness. Oh Lord Krishna, lead us out of darkness. Oh Prabhuji, bless us with happiness.
नहीं चाहिए रंग महलना, नहीं चाहिए रंग महलना, धन दौलत की शान। हमको मांगे तुझसे मालिक एक संतोष का दान। नहीं चाहिए रंग महलना, धन दौलत की शान। हमको मांगे तुझसे मालिक एक संतोष का दान। कि घर घर में खुशियाली हो, सदा सुख की हरियाली हो। नहीं चाहिए रंग महलना, धन दौलत की शान। हमको मांगे तुझसे मालिक एक संतोष का दान। तूने हमको जन्म दिया है, तू ही पालनहार। तेरी दया से फूलों पले हम सबका घर संसार। तूने हमको जन्म दिया है, तू ही पालनहार। तेरी दया से फूलों पले हम सबका घर संसार। नहीं चाहिए हीरे मोती, नहीं चाहिए हीरे मोती, लालच ना कोई काम। हम तो मांगे तुझसे मालिक एक संतोष का दान। सुख के बदले दुख देने की अगर भावना तेरी, दुख को सहने की शक्ति है यही प्रार्थना मेरी। सुख के बदले दुख देने की अगर भावना तेरी, दुख को सहने की शक्ति है यही प्रार्थना मेरी। किसी के आगे हाथ न पहले अपने महल का। हम तो मांगे तुझसे मालिक एक संतोष का दान। नहीं चाहिए रंग महल ना धन दौलत की शान। हम तो मांगे तुझसे मालिक एक संतोष का दान। कि घर घर में खुशियाली हो, सदा सुख की हरियाली हो। नहीं चाहिए रंग महल ना धन दौलत की शान। हम तो मांगे तुझसे मालिक एक संतोष का दान।
प्रेम से श्री रामचंद्र भगवान की जय। शरणम प्रभु। Now, devotees and friends, once again, we are able to meet after a week of construction, and I welcome you once again. And those of us who are looking online, I welcome you too. I hope this gathering here is a blessing to all of us who are here and who are also looking from where they are. Or if you look at a later date, because we haven't taken down any of the videos, they're still there. So if you've missed any and you'd like to catch up, by all means, please do until such time as we see fit to remove them. Now, we are, of course, in a process of life where mukti is the ultimate goal of life itself. Now, are we all going to get there right away? Probably not. But it doesn't mean we must not enjoy the journey, okay? Don't think of death all the time as, oh, I'm getting close to there and so on. Just let it be a part of life itself. Without life, there can't be death. Without death, there can't be life. So this is all a process. And the process is meant to be enjoyed and to find our own errors and to correct them. The Sri Ramcharitmanas, of course, which tells the story of Sri Ram, deals extensively with this, and we've tried to use the story of Sri Ram to point out to us of the journey that is being made. Rama's exile from Ayodhya is a reminder to us of the sacrifices we need to make to get to the goal. After all, his goal has come to destroy the ego, which is the Ravan. But To get there, you got to make sacrifices. His sacrifice is being exiled so he can continue with this process. He has to go through a period of hardship. He has to be separated from his spouse. All these things are life's lessons. They will happen to every single one of us. Nobody is going to be able to escape these. From the time we take birth, our death is assured. It's just a matter of time as to when it happens. It's something that all of us should be willing to be prepared for, but people, our people especially, they're so superstitious, they're afraid. They're saying, oh, if I do this, I'm going to die, and blah, blah, blah. Listen, when your time, nobody goes before their time. Let me put it this way. When your time comes, you'll be lying in your bed and you'll still have it. When your time comes, you'll be driving in a vehicle and you might still have it. Nobody knows. If you think of death all the time, what's going to happen? You know, there's a little story that I'm reminded when I was in primary school of the mother and the daughter. The daughter get married, and on the top of the ceiling of the house, the mother and the daughter saw this hammer sitting there, you know, and they start crying. And why you remember the story, right? All of you who read the primary school book, you know this. I think I forgot what the book was called. Macaulay's something or the other. Anyway, they started crying, the two of them, the wife and the mother and the daughter. So the son-in-law comes home, the daughter's husband, and she says, well, why are you crying? They cried more hard. Finally, he was able to coax out of them. You see the hammer is sitting there. Suppose that hammer falls on your head and kills you. Now the young man says, I've never met anybody as stupid as this. I'm not going to come back home unless I go out into the world and find 3 people more stupid than the 2 of you. And of course he goes, and there are more stupid people than you believe. Okay? I'm not going to go into the further part of the story, but there are people. So the thing is, it's going to happen one way or another. Let's not think about it all the time. And let us not act stupidly. Act sensibly, act responsibly. This is the main thing. We cannot shirk our responsibilities. We are here to experience life, yes, but we have to take on our responsibility. You know, I keep saying, stop looking up and take responsibility. Bhagwan is not going to come and take away the mountain from in front of you. You're going to find a way around it. But you were inspired because of the austerities that we perform, to have the ability to think your problems through and to overcome them. And that is what life is about. Challenges are every single day. There's not a day without challenges. Are you going to give up on them? No, you have to think the thing through and come to a solution that is convenient to yourself and to those around you. You know the great Saint, Arisamad Saint Dayanand. He spoke about truth. Prakash should have been here. Prakash should have been here. He spoke about truth. He said, truth is being told when it does not hurt anyone. Because if you tell a truth that hurts somebody, that is not really what it is. There got to be a win-win situation. It doesn't mean you're going to lie. But you cover it up in such a way that everybody comes out feeling good about themselves. And unfortunately, human condition and human thinking is of such that unless I win and somebody else loses, then something is wrong. We all need to win. It's always a win-win thing. And human beings, and this is what Dharma is about. Dharma is about win-win. And Sri Ram here, you might say, okay, Rama had to kill Ravan. But this is a symbolic thing that has to happen. It doesn't mean you do not, I'll get to that in a second. When Hinduism speaks about non-violence, ahimsa. It doesn't mean that you throw away everything else and allow people to walk over you. You have to stand up for what is right. Otherwise, that Mahabharata war teaches us nothing. When the ego of someone takes effect to such an extent, and if you think about Mahabharata, Duryodhana's thinking was not a needle point. Avlan must go to these Pandavas. They must be killed. Are they going to stand up and take it? But even then, Arjuna becomes weak at the end there. It takes Sri Krishna to teach him dharma so he can recognize his responsibilities and take them on and perform them too and perform them good. Without him, everything was going to fall apart. This is the power that Arjuna had. Wherever there is the wisdom of Sri Krishna and the effort of Dhanurdhara Arjuna, there is always progress, prosperity, and truth. And this is what we are about. You have to stand up for the little guy. You have to stand up for each other. People will make mistakes, no matter who we are. Mistakes are common. This is what life is about. If we were people who couldn't make mistakes, then we'll be gods. And that we're not. We're simple human beings trying to make a journey through life. And along the way, there will be hiccups. You have to deal with them. You can't let them ride over you. You have to face them and you have to overcome them. And that is what makes life interesting and also enjoyable. Think of if you had a life of no challenges at all. Would you enjoy such a life? What do you think? Nobody's answering. It will be totally boring, exactly. Right now I'm going through that. It's the same thing every single day. So I know exactly what to expect each hour of the day. So what can I say? Life is boring? No, I enjoy it. Because I make challenges for myself. I pick up my Sudoku and do it. That's a challenge by itself. And it's the only reason I buy the weekend paper, so I can work on that Sudoku. And the weekend has the hardest puzzles. I don't know how many of you do it.
It's good exercise for the brain.
Brain exercise is always good.
Yeah.
Let's put some more brain exercise now. We look at when I left off the last time, Shivi, Tajichi, Harishchandra, Rantidev and Bali had their challenges and they were able to overcome them through the grace of God. We too have our challenges. And Sri Ram is teaching us here. And he mentions these names for a reason, because they stood up for truth. They ensured that whatever they said they will do, they did it. No matter what the cost. Unfortunately, these days we make pledges here, make pledges there, and nobody will forget about it. In the heat of the moment you want to be recognized, you make a pledge. You say, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And then after a while, people forget, everybody forgets, and you may forget too. Am I right?
I don't know.
You don't know. Okay.
I can do that.
All right, I'm glad you don't. I try not to do it myself. If I make a pledge, I try to live to it. That's why these are the things that make your reputation to be what it is. The minute you start telling untruths, your reputation goes away. Your reputation is what people think of you. All right? Think about it that way. If they think of you good, you have a good reputation. People think bad no matter who. If they think bad of you, your reputation is in tatters. And so Sri Ram is speaking to Sumantra, of course, and explaining to him, because Sumantra is trying to convince him, come back with me. Your father has sent you into exile. You've agreed to it. But he asked me to give you this message that I take you for a few days in the forest and then you come home back with me. But Rama says no. If I do that, think of all these people who are my ancestors, who have stood for what is right. And you telling me now not to do that? How can I? Let's join in prayer. Om Lokabhiramam Ranarangadiram Rajivanetram Raghuvanshanatham Karunyarupam Karunakarantam Shri Ramachandram Sharanam Prapadhe Jai Ram Shri Ram
Jai Jai Rama, Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Rama, Jai Ram, Shri Ram, Jai Jai Rama, Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Rama,
Jai Ram
Shri Ram, Jai Jai Rama, Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Rama,
Jai Ram Shri Ram Jai Jai Rama Shri Ram Jai Ram
Jai Jai Rama.
Karpura Gauram Karunavataram Sansara Saram Bhujagendraharam Sada Vasantam Hridayarvinde Bhavam Bhavani Santam Namami
Jai Ram, Shri Ram, Jai Jai Rama, Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Rama, Jai Ram, Shri Ram, Jai Jai Rama, Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Rama.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. So we pick up from where we left off, Chaupai. Dharman Dusar Satya Samana Dharman Dusar Satya Samana Agam Nigam Puran Bhatana Maituri Dharma Sulabh Karibhava Tajti Upura Upaj Sutava Jai Ram Shri Ram Jai Jai Rama Jai Ram Shri Ram Jai Jai Rama
Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Rama,
Jai Ram Shri
Ram, Jai Jai Rama,
Jai Ram Shri Ram Jai Ram Shri Ram Jai Ram Shri Ram Jai Jai Rama Jai Ram Shri Ram Jai Jai Rama
Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Rama.
And as the Agams, the Vedas and the Purana declare, there is no duty, no dharma that is equal to truth. Now I don't like the word duty being applied to dharma. It's a lot more than just duty. We translate it because there's a lack of English words to explain what dharma really is. There's no definition. It covers so many different things. But what are these agamas, the Vedas and the Puranas? The agamas are the texts of Hinduism that instructs us how to perform stuff like Havan, stuff like building a Havan Kund, for instance. Everything has its own science, you know. It's all scientifically based. And why? Because every ritual that is performed, we call it ritual, but any puja for that matter, that is performed with a reason. And that reason is to uplift the jiva that is within all of us. Now if we start applying that instead of just ritual, think of ritual. Eating is a ritual because you have the fork on the left side, the knife on the right side, the spoon on the front. That's a ritual because you got to use each one for a different purpose. That is what a ritual is. The things that we do on an everyday basis. Puja is not done every day. We can do it every day, but it still doesn't become ritual because in the puja itself is a longing of the jiva to come to a realization of Bhagavan. That is what puja is about. But do we do it as like that? No, for us, many of us for that matter. It becomes a social gathering. We invite our friends, our family and so on. We have a little birthday, we have a birthday song and this kind of thing. It's an occasion for merriment. Nothing wrong in that. We're supposed to be happy. And if you can't be happy, you've got to make yourself happy. Nobody's going to make you happier. Your happiness is inside. You think about that? No, most of us think the happiness is out there. That's why we end up in trouble. We go looking for happiness outside and we get entangled in worldly things. And what happens? Sorrow, loss, bereavement. Think about that. No, the puja is mainly to look within for that happiness. And this is why we ask you, you do all these little things that we perform before, wash the hands, sip the water, this kind of thing. They're not meant to be just sipping water. You're not thirsty. If you are thirsty, you'll be drinking before you come sit down there. They're little things that we do to remind ourselves, I'm purifying the outside and I'm purifying the mind inside as well. That's how you sip the water. What is water after all? It's the agent of purification, isn't it? Is that so or not? Everybody looks lost here. It's true.
That's why you're gay.
Yeah, why you take a shower? If we didn't shower a single day, maybe people don't want to come near to you. So you do that to purify the cells externally, but then we got to think of the internal purification too. So symbolically, we sip the water for internal purification. But we don't. Instead, we're looking, oh, is this guy here? Is that lady here? This is why do you think people set their puja place so they sit and see where the door is? Tell me the truth. You want to see who comes in when? No, we don't care who comes in. Put your back to the door. That's the best thing. Everybody's shaking their head. You're in agreement. That's good. So the agamas are the texts that describe all these ritual things that I call it ritual because that's the best reason that's the best word I can find in the circumstances. The Vedas are the instructions, especially the Upanishads, which are the philosophy of the Vedas, which instructs us on the process to gain self-realization. And of course, the Puranas, which tell story to illustrate how to get there. So the epic Ramcharitmanas is not a Purana, it's called an Itihas. Itihas, it means so it happened. That's what it is. So it happened. And this is what Tulsidas has done. He's telling the story as it happened. But within that story, he's incorporated all the Vedic philosophy. In the life of Sri Ram, there's nothing that has been left out. This is why Rama has become such a symbol for every Hindu. So the Puranas tells these stories of devotees who tried, who made mistakes. And if you look at the way the Puranas are written, the authors of the Purana, Ved Vyas, even puts the deity into trouble, but then extricate him out. Showing that if the deity can make mistakes, so can all of us. Is there anyone here who has not made a mistake? Is anyone who's listening there who has not made a mistake? Of course not. We're human, we make mistakes. But then when we make the mistakes, learn from them. If we can do that, then we are well on our way, on the road towards self-realization. It's not going to happen in one life. It may not happen in 100 lives. But what? So what? Just keep going. Every life gives us new opportunities to incorporate past lessons and to avoid future ones. So there is no duty equal or no dharma equal to truth. Truth is the highest dharma. This duty I have been able to fulfill without putting myself to any trouble. So Rama is saying, this truth I've been able to put into action, putting myself into with no trouble at all. And to abandon it would mean disgrace everywhere. In all the three spheres, he says here. Think about it. When you lost the trust of people, you know how hard it is to gain it again? Think of yourself as a spouse and you get betrayed by one spouse. You know how hard it is to get back together again? That thing is hanging over your head like a pendulum. Fall any time like the hammer from the ceiling. Remember that? Now, continuing. Rama is speaking still. So pray again. Continuing, Sri Ram is saying, so this would mean disgrace everywhere for me if I turn back on the truth that I have taken part. Disgrace to a man of honor causes anguish as terrible as death itself, in many ways of death. What more shall I say, my friend Sumant? I only incur sin, even by answering you again. So he said we should not even be thinking about this anymore. This path is already set. There's no turning back anymore. This has already been set. I have to do this because this is the only way I can redeem myself. This is the only path that I have to take, the path of truth, to be able to bring ego under control. We'll end with this, with this Doha today. Next week we'll look at what it means, all right? Because everything here you can speak for a lengthy time on it all. Sri Ram is saying, clasp my father's feet. And with what kind of explanation of the humblest salutation, with myriads of humblest salutations, folded hands, beg of him not to distress himself in any way on my account. Now, there's a whole load to unpack here, okay? Okay, we'll look at this next time. I want to thank all of you for coming out again. For all of you who are listening online, thank you all. I got some announcements. Prem Sujya Pati Ramachandra Ki Jai. We'll continue this next time. So I thank for coming out. We are online, of course, voiceofdharmatemple.com. And we are on Facebook, the Voice of Dharma Temple Scarborough. So if you can check us out there and give us a like if possible on the Facebook page and share with your friends. We would like you to share the message because it's a message of hope. It's a message of redemption for all of us. We are all prone to make mistakes. Sri Ram, through his life, of course, has done wonderful things. And we, of course, want to recognize this and teach ourselves as we go along as well. Friday, June the 10th is Gayatri Jayanti. I think we'll probably talk about it on this Sunday. Monday the 13th will be the full moon, so that will not be on that's the same Sunday actually. Thanks to all the musicians and singers. I really appreciate you guys. Really did excellent today. I gotta thank all of you again. And Ram, I gotta be very thankful to you. Wherever you come, things are much better. So that means you gotta come more regularly. And Amar, you too. When you come here, my hair stands on the back of my head here every time you sing. So I don't know, it must be me. But I'm sure other people feel the same way too. And we really are thankful that you're able to come and join us here.
What about our Basant?
Basant too. You don't make my hair stand up, but I enjoy his singing too. You gotta put the feeling into it though. You
And just stand up to fall off.
And I gotta be honest, I never heard him Terry Mountain those two tunes at the same time.
I was actually laughing at myself.
No, it's very easy to do that because the same rocks.
It's alright, it's enjoyable, it was good. It was good. So every musician, excellent job. I gotta thank all.
Deliberate creativity.
Yeah, exactly. I thought about it this time. I said, oh, that's really wonderful. It's good. Sato celebrated a birthday during the week. We want to wish him well. He's not going to hear us, but please, you get in touch with him from time to time. Tell him we wish him many happy returns of the day. May his life be long, healthy, and happy. And for those who are celebrating and didn't tell me, well, it's an anniversary. I think Krishna is celebrating an anniversary. He sent a donation here. Krishna and Barsha, yes. About a year ago, I remember doing the wedding here. Only 10 people could come into that wedding.
Yeah, me and Ramson sing from home.
It was right
So-
here with the wall.
Yeah, it was, the ceremony was done right here. Exactly. So we wish them well. Many happy returns of the day for their anniversary as well. May they have a long, healthy, and happy marriage too. So we wish he would come. I need to talk to him actually in a personal way.
Yeah.
So he's back from
Yeah.
Jamaica.
Yes.
Okay, so tell him we'd like to see him. Don't forget, we are still accepting membership for the 2022. So if you're not a member yet, please become. We got 2 donations here today. One is from Krishna Saw and Varsha Saw, and that is $50, and $140 from Bhavani James Prasad. James actually is Rani's family. I did a little service for him. He was so happy. He gave me $140 for myself. I said, no, I can't accept for that. He said, okay, give it to the temple. So it's gone to the temple. And he will get a receipt for it. So I thank James, in case James Chandra, Jody, if you're listening, thanks for the donation. We really appreciate it. Temples are not easy to run, as you know. A lot of times expenses arise. We've done some. We spent quite a few bucks on present improvement. So, but it looks good and it looks nice. And I congratulate the people and thank them for the wonderful job they did.
They were free, right?
Obviously. They were free, but but the materials was not. I can't go to Home Depot and say, give me this stuff I need it for the temple. They get lost. So we have to spend money on that stuff. So people asking me all the time, where do you spend the money? Well, you're seeing it. So that's why we ask for money from time to time, so we can have it to spend when the time comes.
But those people don't come and see.
True. Anyway, I got a little note from Lotus here asking me to advertise their pre-planning seminar, which is on June the 16th at the Queen Palace Banquet Hall at 1173 Brimley Road. That's just south of Ellesmere, and it's on the corner of Bremarton and Ellesmere, yes. So if you would like to find out what you need and prepare yourself for that day, which will happen, by the way, it will happen. You can go and listen. You don't have to do anything right now. You just listen to what is being said. And you can plan for your own estate thing because they have a couple of lawyers who will be there. They have a pre-planning counselor, they have a barrister and solicitor. And the barrister and solicitor actually is going to be Dave Ryan, he's from here. He used to be here playing the music all the time. He's a good drummer, excellent drummer. He plays the harmonium as well. So Dave has now, of course, qualified as a lawyer. If you would like to make your will and so on, I'm going to push for him here as well. Contact Dave. I got his contact number and everything else, and you can do that. And of course, the financial advisor for those of you who are of estates or who have money which you don't know what to do with, and you're thinking that when I die, my kids must not fight over it. They will, by the way. Unless you make proper documentation, this is going to happen. Someone is going to be at your bedside with a paper there for you to sign while you're dying. I hope it doesn't happen to any of us, but I've seen it. I've been there, I've seen it. And I think all of you know of someone who actually did that. So it happens. This is life. We gotta cope with it. So like I said, stop looking up, start looking in. And take responsibility for yourself. Nobody's gonna take it for you. Be responsible. This is one of the ways to be responsible. So I gotta thank these guys for holding that thing up and advertising it out so that people hopefully will see the error of their ways and do something about it. I will be there, even though I've got mine paid for already. I will still be there because I might have missed something when I did mine, and if you need to make changes, do it when you're alive. Don't wait till you're lying in a box. Then it's too late to make any changes.
But they have to register.
Yeah, if you would like to go, please, you got to pre-register. You can call Rani. Rani will take your registration and put your name on their list. So.
Or the lady here.
Or Peter,
Patricia Peter.
Patricia Peter. She's on the thing. If you've got one of these, if you don't have flyer, you can have mine. All right, I think that's it. We've run into overtime already. You got anything, Pete?
Yes, Pandit. Thanks for the opportunity. I just wanted to put a little more light on the work that was done over the past week by Stanley, Prakash, and Devin in particular. The three of them, whatever you see here, the improvements you see here is 100%, or let's say 90% attributable to their efforts. This started on Hanuman Jayanti night as an idea, an opinion rather, because the guys were sitting here and they saw the holes in the ceiling and the holes over the curtains, and so it's getting to them, it's unsettling them. So they expressed the opinion that we can do that, we can repair it and get it done, and the project evolved since between Hanuman Jayanti and now. It's completed. Over the past 2 weeks, it was refined to what you have here now, the pot lights, the LED lights, and the updating of the switches. When from the idea, when it became an opinion and a plan, all they asked for was the approval to go ahead with the work. They did not ask for funds. I insisted that we might be paid, etc. There is a lot of the labor, yes, it's no cost, it's all they volunteer, and I particularly take my hat off to Prakash and Stanley. They took vacation to be able to complete this job with just 1 week's interruption of our Sunday services. So on my part, I mean, I've been here as the facilitator, moral supporter together with Pandit when he was available. On behalf of us, I'd like to reach out to Prakash, Stanley, and Devin and say congratulations. There are no holes. That's not serving a purpose. Notice even the vents were cleaned up. But two things. Pandit mentioned before about the lack of pictures around the wall. They're no longer around the wall. The missing Venetian blinds, we thought that the condition of Venetian blinds, half of the vanes were broken. What wasn't broken prior to the project were broken. Some of them got broken as we tried to take them down. And also there are two safety issues that I particularly want to stand out. There is no curtain over the fire exit door. There must not be a curtain over a fire exit door. If you want to hightail it out of here in the case of a fire, you got to move a curtain. You know what, the curtain will likely catch a fire before you reach through the door. So there will not be a curtain there in future. The same, there was mention about the little storage shelf we have there for prasadam. Do not put lighted artis or any lighted flame on top of that thing. It's close to the curtain. Again, we probably will not be able to hightail it out of here in time if that curtain catches a fire. Let's be aware of safety. There were holes where fire extinguishers were. We filled those holes, we mounted 2 fire extinguishers. I got 1 more to put up and get them refilled and updated. It's for our safety. Let's adhere to the safety practices while we do our service. Thanks again.
Yeah, one thing I forgot to mention was that the lights are donated as well, the LEDs, long lights. I don't know these, I think you won't be paid for those.
Donated
Donated as well, okay. Rick Gangaram provided those 4-foot LEDs, and they're really bright, aren't they? 6 of them used. There's 2 more sitting there. We're gonna put them in eventually. And these here are donated as well. So it costs us nothing for the material for the lights, but they make the place look good. Am I right?
Yeah.
Good.
Finish?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what you said is a good suggestion. The only thing when you have the art, you really would like make a suggestion. I don't want you to put it at the bottom here.
No, not about them.
Lighted RT should go back.
Leave them here for
Because-
now. That's okay.
Because it's just for a short while.
Okay.
Don't put them on there.
And then when you finish, just open.
Alright.
We have to try to be safety conscious at all times. So I was thinking about it. That's why I was thinking I'd take these curtains off, but I was told not to take them off. You still need them to block this one when it moves that side. And some afternoon service will eventually be done. All right. Thank you all for coming. I've gone into overtime again. I can't pay you for the overtime. Let me make it clear, quite clear. Let's please stand for RT and closing, and then we can. आरती श्री रामायण जी की रति करे सरल सखिया कर मैं हर विषय रस सुवन श्रृंगार मुक्ति जुपति सर्वोत भव Our own Chandra Naubat lost her mother during the week. The funeral was last Monday or Tuesday, I think. And we want to express our condolences to Chandra for the loss of her mom, Parvati Joyce, and we really are sorry. Let's offer a prayer first for Joyce and then we'll close on. Om Anadinidhano Deva Shankachakra Gadadharam Akshaya Pundarikaksham Preta Moksha Prado Bhava Preta Moksha Prado Bhava Ram Nam Satya Hai Yahi Sab Ki Jat Hai Om Shantakaram Bhujagashayanam Paranam Saresham Vishwadharam Gagan Sadarsham Devavarnam Subhagam Lakshmi Kantam Kamalvarinam Yogi Vedyanaganyam Vande Vishnu Bhavayharam Sarvalokaikanatham Om Tvameva Mata Chapita Tvameva Tvameva Bandhuscha Sakha Tvameva Tvameva Vidyam Gavinam Tvameva Tvameva Sarvam Namodeva Deva Om Bara Bara Baramano Arashya Deva Sriram Padasarojaya Vayani Bhakti Sada Sata Sangasya Vajaramachandra Ki Jai Sharanam Prabhu Umapati Mahadeva Ki Jai Pavanasita Hanuman Ki Jai Sya Vajaramachandra Ki Jai Sharanam Prabhu Om Ahohanam Najanami Visarjanam Puja Chaivan Janami Samasva Parameshwaramyo Shanti Antarikshavam Shanti Prithvi Shanti Apaha Shanti Aushadaya Shanti Vanaspati Shanti Vishwadeva Shanti Brahma Shanti Sarvam Shanti Shanti Reva Shanti Sara Shanti Rehi Shanti Bhavatu Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Prem ko Sri Ramchandra Bhagwan ki Jai Sharanam Prabhu. Alright, thank you all once again.